So it's live now.
We are live.
Yes, and I'm still setting up the tripod
We
because
are working out some bugs right now, but we are live. This is our first ever live stream on YouTube, so that's pretty exciting, but we got some bugs we're working out here. Alright, I think we're going.
I think that's gonna work.
That might work. We're good?
It looks like it. Wow, there's a huge delay.
Yep, well, this is our first ever doing YouTube live, so in years past, we've done our Oscar pre-show on Facebook, but now we're doing it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So
This already looks so much better.
so much better.
Whew. Man, the Facebook one was rough.
Yeah.
So. Anyways, we are doing the 91st Academy Awards.
Yeah, this is our pre-show. It's our live pre-show here on YouTube. We are going to be talking about the Oscars, kind of what we're expecting, what we're going into here. For those of you unfamiliar with us, just jumping in randomly on a live stream of some random YouTubers, my name is Chris Adams.
And my name's Robert Adams.
And we are the Cinefanatics. We do a lot of movie stuff here on this channel, talk about it, go see movies, do reviews, do trailer reactions. We do all sorts of stuff. So we want to thank you for hanging out with us tonight.
Yeah, so we put a video out around this time last week with our Oscar predictions and talking about the nominations. So there's been at least a week since that video was created.
And every single prediction I said that wasn't Roma is wrong. It's Roma all the way.
So within that week, I mean, we've been busy with like a bunch of other stuff, but I've managed to cram in a couple more movies. As of right now, I have seen every single Best Picture nomination. So just to kind of touch upon what we were talking about in that video, I remember we were both saying that we would love to see Green Book win this. Since watching the rest of these movies, especially Roma, I would not be disappointed or surprised if Roma won.
Yeah.
Roma was a fantastic movie. I really liked it, and it definitely deserves the awards it's going to potentially get.
For sure. I mean, that's the big story going in right now, because you have Roma going for all these awards. You have Roma potentially getting both Best Foreign Language Film and the big one, Best Picture, which is not only the first time that's ever happened, I believe, but also it'd be a huge, huge, huge win for Netflix as a producing studio.
Yeah.
They're looking for that win. They're looking to be basically validated in terms of being an actual studio that people are looking towards for, high-end productions. So that's kind of one of the big stories that we're looking into tonight is Roma going to be able to pull that off for Netflix?
And I also believe this is going to potentially be a win for Alfonso Cuarón.
Yeah, I mean he's already been Oscar awarded, so to speak. We're looking at now he's going in for this one as well. I believe he got it for Gravity too.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so that's going to be a big deal for him too. I believe it's his second one.
It would be his second win if he wins for Roma tonight.
So, yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot just happening with these Oscars. I mean, this is definitely one to watch this season.
There's a lot of I would say for a lot of the other categories, and I know we talked about this again in our other video, is that a lot's still kind of up in the air. We're not 100% certain who could win. There's a lot of curveballs that could be thrown. I think from what I've read over this past week, there's been a lot of articles online about who should win, who will win, who someone hopes they will win. Out of all the ones I've read, the only one that looks like it's fairly consistent was Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
Getting Best Supporting Actor. All the rest of them, people were saying, "Oh, I want Emma Stone or Glenn Close. I want Olivia Colman or something." Everyone was just all over the place with the rest of them.
Right.
But Mahershala Ali was the only one that looked like it was consistent across the board, and it is.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, he would be very much deserving of that award.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. I think he's one of the greatest currently working living actors.
Yeah.
Right now, so I'm okay with him getting all the awards.
Yeah, just give him Best Director and
just give him Best Picture. Yeah,
Mahershala Ali Best Picture. Just
someday we might see a biopic like that.
Yeah.
So outside of movies, there's a lot happening with these awards. Just kind of want to touch on what can we expect actually going into this.
That was going to be what I was looking at.
This Oscars has been rife with controversy. Right. Whatever. There's been a lot of controversy. I like rife. I think I just made up a word.
Sure.
So, you're first like going into this. The initial thing that first came out was we're going to introduce a popular movies category. That way, movies like Black Panther and Avengers can have a chance at winning a big award. And everybody was like, "Are you kidding me? No, there shouldn't be a popular movies category. That movie should just be considered for Best Picture regardless."
Yeah. Especially if you're talking about a movie like Black Panther, which, surprise, it actually is nominated for Best Picture, so it was still popular enough.
And I feel like, partly some of that is just kind of like on the back end, like, oh, we got to fix some stuff.
Yeah.
Let's make sure one of these big blockbuster movies actually makes it into the top category. That's kind of that had a lot of people already like set off from the beginning. Like, first of all, that comes across as not necessarily pandering to an audience, but it comes across as maybe looking at some of these artists, some of these directors, producers, and saying, "Hey, your work is it's not good enough for our big category, but we'll go ahead and we'll make a category for you. Don't worry about it." And everyone was like, "No, either our work is good enough for the big category, or you don't mention it."
And at the same time, there's also the opposite of that, is that you do get some of these people who are doing these like passion projects, these art house indie films. A lot of them are fantastic. Like, what was it, last year, The Big Sick wasn't really necessarily an indie film.
Yeah.
It wasn't really art house, but it definitely was a passion project for Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah.
And for something like that, where you have like a small indie art house film that's now not being nominated for this new category of popular movies, you're basically telling that person, "Hey, your movie's not popular. I don't know what to tell you. People don't want to see your stuff."
Yeah, that just does not come across well at all.
No, and it's just more of just a matter, I guess, of wording or.
Yeah. So I mean, that already kind of was setting off the entire thing wrong from the beginning. I mean, you go in next is that whole debacle with Kevin Hart. We're gonna pull in Kevin Hart. He's gonna be our host this year, and then it comes out that he had some tweets from a while back that were homophobic in nature, I guess.
Yeah.
And so that had a lot of people going, wait, he's hosting your Oscars, and then I believe either it was the Academy or it was Disney, the parent company of ABC, saying, "Okay, you know what? It's fine. You can host the Oscars. We just need you to publicly apologize for those tweets."
And he basically said, "No, I don't want to apologize. That was like 10 years ago. I shouldn't have to apologize for that. I'm a better person now. I've learned. I'm not going to do this."
Yeah.
And then I guess public pressure was put on Disney, the Academy, and then they came back.
They came back.
Eventually they came back and said, "Okay, well, we'll go ahead and let you host." And then Kevin Hart turned around and go, "No, I don't want to host anymore.
You guys put me in this position."
You guys
there's that.
screwed this up.
So there's the aspect of he got put in that position, plus he himself decided, you know what? I don't want to be a distraction from everybody else, from all the awards, from everybody winning and who deserves to have recognition. I don't want to be a distraction to any of them. So I'm just gonna back out.
And what I like about that is he's like, "No, I don't want to host anymore for all those reasons." And then like the last icing on the cake, he's like, "Oh, by the way, I apologize for all those tweets."
Yeah, and then
then he apologized. So he completely removed all of the power away from the Academy, which was a fantastic move on his part, I believe. But I mean, this harkens back to something that's been happening this year. I mean, it kind of also touched upon the thing with James Gunn, where his tweets were discovered almost 10 years later, and these people are being removed from these projects when they've grown in 10 years. There's stuff that I've done 10 years ago that I'm not happy about, that I'm not proud about, but I've grown. I'm a better person now. If we were to be held for every single thing that we did when we were younger, when we haven't grown up, then, I mean, what's the point of growing? So we can all just stay immature kids. I mean,
yeah, so this whole ordeal with Kevin Hart has now led the Oscars to essentially be hostless, because nobody else... It's become basically comedians, everybody sees it as a thankless job at this point this year. So nobody wants to step forward, nobody wants to go, you know what, I'll do it, I'll host. Everyone's kind of like, nah, there's too much controversy, too much going on there. I'm out, I'm not down. And so now we have the Oscars, I think for the first time in, 30 years or so, is going hostless, which I think the last time that happened, the show was not that great.
Yeah, it was like back in 1989. Yeah, and the reviews on it are pretty atrocious.
And so now we're looking at history potentially repeating itself.
Yeah, and see, here's the thing. Back in 1989, I liked movies. I was a kid. I enjoyed watching movies.
I would have if I was old enough or alive.
You weren't even
depending
born.
on what point of the year we're talking about.
Well, I mean, even still, you didn't like pop out of the womb and go, I want to watch a movie. So
I don't know. You weren't in the hospital room.
Thank God. So, I mean, back then I wasn't like huge into movies like that, so I didn't watch the Oscars. So I have no idea how much of a train wreck that one was.
Right.
So I have no experience on a hostless Oscars, and this is going to be very interesting to see how they're going to do this. Because I mean, how do you start the Oscars without that opening number, without the fanfare, the welcoming someone?
I feel like there's going to be an opening number, but it's
just
going to
random
be made
people.
up. It's going to be made up of other people.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily going to be one person carrying the show all the way through.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see some folks come in and out potentially who are doing maybe some skits or presenting what have you.
So I know there's one more controversy thing we want to get to real quick, but also would like to say hi to Red One Ken. Thank you for stopping by and saying hi to us in the chat.
Yeah, thanks.
So the other thing of controversy.
There's a couple more things actually.
Well, the other big major one was them deciding to remove the categories and then put them back.
Yeah, so the flip-flopping on whether we're going to actually air these categories or if they're just going to be in the commercial break, or if we're just going to air some edited down parts of them once they come back to commercial. No, we're going to actually, everything's going to get aired as it is. Don't worry about it. So much back and forth. I mean, you have the Academy right now kind of buckling under pressure back and forth, and if I could say anything good, I'd say maybe that's good on them for saying, you know what, this is what the people want, let's give them what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Because
that should be like any business. What does the public want? You give the public what they're asking for.
Yeah, and so we had the Academy basically saying, you know, we want to save time because people have complained in the past that the show was going on too long, and for the sake of our ratings, we want to make sure we keep people in, pull them in, and keep them in. We're only going to air the ones that people care about, so to speak, which apparently is all of them now, actually.
Yeah.
And that way we can actually present a shorter show and keep as many people watching as possible. The problem is, and I don't know if this was ever actually fully confirmed that this is what was happening, so take this with a grain of salt, the categories that weren't going to be aired were categories not featuring movies produced by Disney or a subsidiary of Disney in some sort.
In which the ABC is broadcasting the Oscars, and ABC is owned by Disney.
And so people started calling it out, going, hey, that doesn't seem right, that seems shady, in which they were saying, no, this is going to be on rotation, this is how it's going to be every year, these are just the categories this year. And everyone's like, I don't know about that, that doesn't seem, that, I think you're doing something funny behind the scenes there.
Yeah.
So they ended up going back on that. Everything's going to be aired. As far as unless in the last 30 seconds or so they decided not to air everything again, everything should be aired tonight.
We're going to go ahead and just proceed without these categories all of a sudden, and there's not enough time for you to complain about it before the show starts. So that's how we're going to go.
So
just,
and then I think, just to touch on the last little bit of controversy that's happening, I believe, so normally every Oscars there's the best song that happens, and throughout the night each one of the songs has a performance to go along with it, so you can hear it, you know, see the people performing it and everything. Kendrick Lamar, whose song is featured for Black Panther, he pulled out of the show.
So this, I know what you're talking about. I actually read up a little bit more on this. It actually starts back further. So originally they were wanting Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper to perform "Shallow" from A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
And Lady Gaga, basically paraphrasing, said, no, I'm not going to do it until everybody, they wanted to cut those down as well, so they didn't want every song to perform. They wanted hers because obviously she's going to be the draw to get the viewers.
So more funny business.
So she said, no, I'm not going to perform unless everyone gets a shot to perform. So they said, sure, fine, okay. So we opened it back up to everybody else to perform.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, Kendrick Lamar and his crew are not able, they're like overseas right now in the middle of like a concert tour. They don't have time to get back and turn around and get back. Yeah, they can't do it.
They rescheduled for something else, yeah.
if that is, I only read one article about this, so that's where I'm getting my facts from.
Right.
If that is what happened, then that makes sense. I guess like a lot of the media was trying to promote it up as like Kendrick Lamar is taking a stand against the Oscars when it's really he just can't get back.
Yeah.
But because of that, it still looks like Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper are going to perform. So
it's like, oh yeah, well, it looks like it's one more thing that is like so. I'm watching news outlets. I'm watching people, other individuals on YouTube talking about the Oscars and everything, and they're going, it's one more thing.
yeah.
One more thing that the Oscars has going against her now. So suffice it to say, I'm actually surprised that Amy Schumer isn't hosting this year because this Oscars might end up being a train wreck.
Mm-hmm.
Get it? It's an Amy Schumer movie.
Mm-hmm. It was? Oh,
Yep.
Completely forgot about that one. So anyways, as far as like back to the actual Oscars as a whole.
Let's talk about the good aspects.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, since we did the other video, the Best Pictures movies that I had not seen at that time was The Favorite and Vice. Both of those movies are...
And Roma at that time.
And Roma. Both of those movies, in particular, are good movies. I definitely can understand why they're nominated.
Yeah.
Vice for the makeup job, and I really kind of feel bad that Steve Carell was snubbed for his... Best Supporting Actor as Donald Rumsfeld. He did a fantastic job on that. But the makeup job on Vice was fantastic. I still think that Suspiria should have gotten a nomination on there, which I'm reading more reports on that, and a lot of people are mentioning Tilda Swinton's character in that movie with the makeup. And then, as far as The Favorite, costumes are good, the storyline, the screenplay, everything was fantastic on that movie. I definitely can see why it's in there.
But will it be The Favorite?
Where? So, good night, everybody. So, yeah, I definitely could see that like a lot of these Oscars are still up in the air because I see potential for every single one of the Best Pictures to win that award. And I'm kind of in favor of almost all of them getting it.
We can't do any participation trophies though. Everybody's got to realize only one person can walk away with the award.
Well, unless you're Moonlight and La La Land, then potentially two.
Potentially two.
But
so I heard her say like, why wasn't the Moonlight La La Land debacle happening this Oscars? Because this is the Oscars.
This was the Oscars for that to happen. That would have been hilarious.
Oh man, I don't know, but it's going to be an interesting one. Let me see how much time we got here.
We're going to cut this a little bit early because we still need to set up how we're watching the Oscars. So, I really don't know of anything else. I mean,
my big thing, like, let's say final predictions for the night. I'd say Roma's going to take away, definitely director, probably going to take away Best Picture. Definitely got foreign language. You got Green Book, you got Mahershala Ali, he's going to take Best Supporting.
Rami Malek's probably going to get actor for Bohemian Rhapsody, which is also much deserved.
You got
Shallow's going to get Best Song.
Shallow's going to get Best Song.
As far as like a lot of the technical ones, I mean, there's the ones that are my favorites that I would like to see.
Roma and cinematography, though.
Roma and cinematography. Oh, that's going to be a hard one, but I'm hoping it gets it because it was really good.
If for no other award, that movie definitely should take cinematography.
Yeah.
But,
so,
I was about to say, it probably will get multiple awards.
Anyway, so we're about to watch. We are going to do a post-show afterwards. So make sure you keep an eye on the... I don't know why. I'm gesturing to the laptop. You're over here. Make sure you watch the Cinefanatics again. We've never done this before.
On YouTube.
So make sure you keep an eye on our channel. We will have a post show where we describe all the awards and all the craziness. And
not sure yet whether we're doing it on this set or if we're going to be back to our normal set.
We might do live or we might record it.
I'm thinking it'll be live. That way it's just up and we get it out there. We get it out there to you so you can watch it immediately once you're done with the show. So.
Yeah. So before we go, the one thing that usually gets asked at the Oscars that we have yet to touch upon is, who are you wearing tonight?
H&M and Express.
Wow, I got this from Amazon. So, there you have it.
None of these are sponsors.
You know our fashion, so yeah, I'm gonna have affiliate links at the bottom.
Go to your nearest mall for H&M Express. You can pick up clothes there.
You're not getting paid to say this. Why?
I wear their clothes. I like their clothes.
Anyway, so that's going to do it for this video. We will see y'all sometime after the Oscars where we can discuss all the craziness that happened.
Yeah, so tune back in. While you're here, go ahead and subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, make
ring
sure
that
you
bell.
hit this. Oh, it's not up there.
Yeah, ring that bell. That way you're notified as soon as we start that live show again. That way, yeah, you can just hang out with us again.
Yeah, and as always, it's live.
It's live.
Later.
See ya.
Oh yeah, I gotta go stop.
Yeah, you gotta end it.
Yeah, that's a little weird and awkward, isn't it?